Strange case from the start. A case with a hole in the middle. A donut.
Well, I had the idea for it about 10 years ago, and it was just the very basic kind of plot idea of what would happen in it and how I would structure the whole thing.
Now, with the entire solution in my field of view, the arc of this case is a tragedy of errors.
In almost every movie he does, he's thinking and chewing on it, and I don't know, I think he probably mentioned to me, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 5, maybe 6, and I remember, this could be really fun.
Joni, have you seen Richard?
No, I was just in with
okay, thanks.
No.
And I was excited about it, and I just kind of filed it away and kept thinking about it. And then last January of 2018, I just kind of decided, coming off of Last Jedi, this would be the one to do next.
And I think the next thing should be something small. And I think as we kind of progressed, like in post on Last Jedi, which is kind of a long post, but said, I think we both said, Knives Out should be the next movie.
Action! The appeal of Knives Out coming off of Star Wars wasn't really that it was less pressure or that it was less, visible or anything like that. All that stuff with Star Wars was actually, I don't know, I enjoyed that aspect of it. It was fun, because it's Star Wars. That's goes hand in hand with what makes it great. For me, this was really just kind of the next thing I wanted to do. And so, yeah, it just seemed like, well, it'd be fun to make a whodunit next.
I don't fear death, but oh God, I'd like to fix some of this before I go. Close the book with a flourish. I guess we'll see.
I adored the way he writes. It's very, very original. There's a rhythm to it that's rather difficult to achieve, but once you have it, you get it, and it's wonderfully off-key.
You gave me 100 milligrams of the good stuff. Excuse me, but what is the good stuff's dosage supposed to be?
Let's not call it that right now, okay? 3 milligrams.
No, that's much less.
It seemed fun, it seemed totally different, and it had been cooking for long enough that I thought, all right, let's do this one.
3 weeks after the opening of Last Jedi, so like first week of January, I said, I'm gonna do Knives Out, and this is how we're gonna do it. I wanna shoot the movie in October 29, because that's the latest date I believe we can start filming within still finishing it by the end of the year before Christmas. I said, this is gonna be I want my birthday present. I'm gonna turn 50. I want my birthday present is to be wrapping Knives Out.
So I sat down, I wrote it very quickly actually. I wrote it in about 6 months, which is very fast for me.
I kind of drew a schedule. I said, we are here in January. I'm gonna start working on the script. This is when I want to start pre-production. We're gonna take it to Toronto. We're gonna go use the model of foreign pre-sale. We're gonna pre-sell the movie and all that stuff.
I'm here because this morning someone dodged a very important question. Who? Me. Linda asked who hired me. Who hired you? I do not know.
I grew up watching the Peter Ustinov, Agatha Christie's, and Albert Finney that he played in Murder on the Orient Express, and just loved the setup. Plus influences from Hitchcock and his take on the sort of whodunit genre and what he thought about it.
What do we have here?
People are going to go and see this and be surprised, even though they know it's a whodunit, even though they know it's part of a genre. They're going to still go there and be incredibly surprised by what Rian's done with it.
I'm actually a really big Sherlock Holmes fan. I really love the mathematics behind it. It's sort of, and the thrill of discovering and sort of, for me, it sort of feels like you're figuring out a puzzle through another person, when you watch these things, and I really enjoy that, being on the edge of your seat and trying to figure something out.
To be honest, I haven't really seen a whodunit or a murder mystery in ages. You know, it seems to be a kind of stylized thing of the past. And he's managed to really tip his hat to those films, but also bring a brand new energy to it. It feels incredibly contemporary. If I could pause, because who is that guy?
Ryan's a cinephile, so his skill is as a movie maker, and his sort of influences are from wherever he can get them.
Yeah, it just seemed like, well, it'd be fun to make a whodunit next. And it was fun coming out of Star Wars, which was a great experience, but took like 4 years to make one movie. It was really fun to jump into something that I knew we could just kind of do really quick and put out there into the world.
Oh, shit! Let me,
Got it. That was great. Got it. Good.
We are cash flowing our pre-production ourselves, and not knowing who we're gonna cast, don't have necessarily a financier for the movie or studio or anything like this, but just said this is the best way to do it. Is like, we're gonna go bet on ourselves that we're gonna make this movie. If the script turns out good and we can get a great actress, we will make the movie. And if we didn't, we roll the dice.
It's the type of movies that I like that I don't think get made often enough. It kind of has a really fun quality to it, even though the characters are grounded, even though the story is serious, at times it still feels, I don't know. A murder mystery is just, it reminds me of my youth, like something you would read in school.
And then I heard Ransom say, "I'm warning you."
So good. It's complex, yet like Ryan, very humane. Wow. Well, yeah, not too complex at all. And it's interlocking, and I just think, I don't know. I say, I have no idea how you write this stuff. It's incredible.
What I enjoy the most is in this type of movies, the story is kind of like little by little feeding the audience and letting them discover who the murderer is or the mystery. And I think that we have all that in the script.
all right, yeah. Yeah, we do have that.
But I think the difference to me, I think, is the humor, the sense of humor and the tone. And we have very serious moments, and we talk about very serious issues, and we have big family confrontations.
You're missing the point. We don't want to attack you with this, but Marta, your mother came into the country illegally, criminally.
But we also have this lightness and just like this dry, sarcastic sense of humor going on.
That was the dumbest car chase of all time. Put your hands down.
So I think late August, Ryan felt better about the script and felt good, and we all felt really good. And I wanted to go to Toronto and sell the movie, and we basically were like 8 weeks away from shooting the movie. And then I read there was a push on the Daniel Craig James Bond movie because Danny Boyle dropped out. So I reached out to our agent, who is also Daniel's agent, and Ryan always like, would be amazing if we can get Daniel. So 3 days later, Ryan is on vacation. He thinks his last vacation in Turks and Caicos with his wife. He gets a phone call from me, fly to New York right now, leave your vacation, go sit with Daniel. And basically, so he goes, he meets him, and Daniel is in.
What were you seeing Harlan about?
It was just a money wiring issue with the office at the school. So I had to ask Harlan to cut a check to pay for the semester. It was just, not a big deal.
I'm just checking. Checking. Mm-hmm. I'm just, checking.
Yeah, let's wrap this up and resume in a little. Oh, okay.
Good.
I'd wanted to work with Ryan for a long time. Scripts like this come along once in a blue moon. So I read it, and I kind of had to read it again almost immediately to think, was that as good as I thought it was? And in fact, it was.
Anyways, this will tie everything up. And I just handed it to you. God, you're not much of a detective, are you?
Well, to be fair, you make a pretty lousy murderer.
He's so inclusive. That, I think, comes across in the movies when you see his movies and when you watch his movies. People really, they attach themselves to his movies. They're like little discoveries.
Daniel, first of all, is a movie star because he has kind of that clout. It meant that we were making the movie. It meant we were a go picture.
But then you have to go shoot the movie, and he's got a window, and he also has to finish before the end of the year. So it's kind of fit with exactly the schedule that we make. You have to start shooting in 6.5 weeks or 7 weeks. And then people were saying, are you going to be able to put it together? You don't have money, you don't have a cast, you don't have anything. I said, no, we're going to put it together. Ryan knows exactly what he wants. He wrote it, he's directing it.
He's very secure within his storytelling. So you don't feel gaps, you don't feel kind of, oh, that's not going, everything's there, everything ties up, everything's connected. The characters are funny and real.
So as we were about to go to Toronto in like around September 7th or 8th to go we were like, I think 6 weeks, 7 weeks before filming, we gave the script to MRC, who, Brian and Jonathan and Modi, all those guys have been pursuing us for a long time. They signed on, and we basically left to Boston, and we had 6 weeks to get it going and get the rest of the cast and put together the movie.
It's that balance of opposites that's the nugget of flam.
Sorry, the nugget of...
Flam.
Oh, yeah, Flam, your skincare company. Sorry.
I forgive you.
So the idea was always, like in any Agatha Christie movie, there's like great cast. There's like famous people, great actors. We wanted to do the same thing.
Well, with casting, we just kind of took it piece by piece, and the first piece of the puzzle was Daniel Craig. He was the first one to sign on.
Do you suspect foul play?
Yes, I suspect foul play.
And he was kind of the central piece for many reasons. First of all, finding who our detective is going to be, who was going to play Benoit Blanc. That was really key. Because he's such a great actor and so well respected, suddenly we're not just like, some like weird whodunit script. Suddenly we're a whodunit script that Daniel Craig's playing the detective in, and that's really appealing. I think that helped get the caliber of talent on board that it did.
We just knew we have a movie, we are making a movie. Now, there's perception around town that when you want to go cast the movie, you should cast it months and months before. I always believe in the reverse. If you're going to go cast a movie, go cast it when you have 6 weeks, when you have 3 weeks, whatever, because most actors, if they don't have a job, and you come to them 2 or 3 weeks before, and if they like the script, the filmmaker, the cast, they're going to say yes.
It helped being able to say to actors, we start shooting in a few weeks, can you come down to Boston now? As opposed to, if we were shooting sometime next year, maybe they try and keep their schedules open in case a Marvel movie or something comes up. With this, it was like, well, no, I'm not working right now. I'll come down and do that. That sounds like fun.
Excuse me, Mr. Stevens, I'm sorry. As to that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to gently request that you all stay in town until the investigation is complete. It shouldn't be more than, 2 days?
Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask?
Mr. Stevens, you may continue.
Having him on board, it kind of helped attract the other talent, I think, to the project.
You're famous.
This man writes this fabulous script, then he casts Daniel, then the rest of everybody else was like, Daniel Craig is in the movie? Oh, I'll do it.
And then you just take it piece by piece. I think Michael Shannon was the next one we cast.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but the cow and the shotgun, like, how does he come up with that?
Dad said the plots just popped into his head fully formed. That was the easy part for him.
And, to see who responds to the script.
Walt doesn't run shit because there are no TV and film rights. Harlan never allowed any adaptations of his books. You know, rarely do you read a piece of material where you immediately go back to the first page and reread it. And that's what happened to me on this. You know, I've been doing this a while. And I don't know that I've ever reread a script immediately after I read it the first time. The thing about this material is that it's truly unique. It's at once a really well-crafted, well-written murder mystery and a comedy.
To showing that just use with that last expression off of his thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, I'm going to cut right to Walt. So I would really commit to doing that.
Okay.
Not so much maybe. Jim, not so much maybe.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, here we go.
Seems like all his kids are self-made overachievers.
Sure.
Yeah, good.
It's just a chaotic mess of a movie, and obviously, I think the best part about it is that it's like it feels very character-driven. Like every character in this film is unique and interesting, and you just want to hear more about them.
What the hell were you doing in the bathroom all night?
Nothing.
Swatting Syrian refugees.
No, I was not.
Alt-right troll.
Liberal snowflake.
I don't know what any of that means.
Really, once you start talking and you see who is available, suddenly you say, this is a great idea. It's not what I thought initially.
Hey, Meg, how's the SJW degree coming? I don't even think I let him speak. I think I just kind of was babbling the entire time about what I wanted to do with the role and what I thought I could bring, and please cast me. Basically, it was just kind of me just pitching him, just begging.
But with every character, really the only consideration for me is, am I excited about working with this person? And do I think they're going to be exciting in the role? That's what I need. When I'm casting a part, I'm looking for somebody who's going to surprise me, somebody who either I haven't seen them quite do what the part calls for, or I would be excited to see them kind of step into that role and like, oh God, I can't quite picture that. They're going to surprise me on set with what they do, and that's always exciting, I think.
I want you to be by my side for it.
What?
My confidant, my eyes and ears.
Hey, wait, Detective, why me?
I trust your kind heart. Also, you're the only one who had nothing to gain from Harlan's death.
Daniel projects an image as someone unapproachable or serious or not into playing games or, and I'm very surprised because it's been such a huge pleasure to be with him in almost every scene. He's such a great partner, fun and just, just chill.
Think you could handle a study?
He has this character who couldn't be more unexpected and surprising and different from everything I've seen that he's done before.
I feel like it could have been such a tricky role. You're bringing this very stylistic and nuanced and in a way very familiar character in this particular genre, and you're bringing it to this new, fresh take. And he's done such a brilliant job in each scene of really just presenting someone who is so different but also so captivating.
Okay. So who the fuck is that?
I was so excited to see what he was going to do with it. It's the type of thing where you don't quite know what they're going to do till that first day on set.
Mr. Drysdale.
CSI KFC? It just made me that much more excited because he's taken such a good swing at it, and he's so right for it in so many ways, even though the character is a, Southern character, and Daniel's obviously British.
Trooper Wagner.
Trooper Wagner?
No.
I feel much better that he's doing that accent because I'm not the only one on set who needs a coach, dialect coach.
I'm here at the behest of a client.
His cadence, his flow, everything about it just works.
Shut up! Shut up with that Kentucky Fried Foghorn Leghorn drawl!
It's funny, like you think about Agatha Christie's books and you think about like Hercule Poirot being like the main character, or you think about Columbo and you think about Columbo being the main character, it's interesting how they're really, in some ways they're really not, narratively at least, in terms of who's driving the story. You are rarely seeing the story through the eyes of the main detective in these types of stories.
I'm just talking through my process here. Let me know if this is boring.
It kind of wouldn't work if you were. You're always seeing the story through the eyes of a secondary character who is one step behind the detective. Marta, who's played by Ana de Armas, was that character.
One of the things that even Rian had said to me early on is that when he was auditioning girls, that Ana came in and that she had a strength to her that Rian didn't even anticipate in the role when he was writing it, you know.
There's got to be a bigger reason why, and you know
Well,
it.
how about it had to do more with you guys than with me?
Because Ana is this center cog in this disaster, and it's easy to be the victim, and it's easy to kind of be coy and meek. And Ana is just so powerful in a lot of ways. Even when she's apologetic, she still has a strength to her.
How you doing, kiddo? Ana was a complete surprise, and my first scene in the movie was with her. And I remember finishing it going like, wow, she was fantastic.
She's also the kind of the emotional crux. So she's the one that the audience is hopefully going to be invested in throughout the course of the story.
Every character in this movie is very eccentric, except Marta, and I think that's why probably she stands out.
That was important to me, the fact that, you know, the emotional investment was not, can the detective solve the case, but it was something that hopefully can hook you a little bit deeper than that.
You won, not by playing the game Harlan's way, but yours. You're a good person.
And when you start putting the pieces together, I had like, you know, I basically, in the office, had the pictures of everybody, of all the characters, and kind of like puzzle, you know, we get this actor, can we work the schedule or not, and see how they fit within everything, so.
And then as you get it piece by piece, as you're building the family, you think, well, this person works with that person, and yeah, this person balances that person nicely.
I've known Don for a long time, and he and I are a perfect married couple. We actually make a great married couple. We fell into it very quickly. From day one, we had a really smooth relationship. And I think the fact that we've known each other for a long time just helped ease that into something that's very familiar.
Oh, you bitch! You little bitch! Did you know about this? Were you in on this?
And like you start looking and you say, okay, who is gonna work best with this? Okay, Jamie Lee, is Don Johnson gonna work good with her?
You know, to a person in this cast, there's not an actor that I don't respect and love to watch, and now personally. Would a sound person do this?
The very action speaks to unsoundness.
Not legally. No. You not liking what he did does not constitute testamentary capacity.
What about undue influence?
Yes! Undue influence! How about it? I've had to carry the cast most of the time. They constantly ask me for my advice. You know, when you have people like that, you just try and help them as much as possible because they're stuck.
If somehow she had gotten her hooks into him.
You need a strong case for that. Your Honor, she endeared herself to him through hard work and good humor. That won't cut the salami. Are you kidding? This cast is like dynamite. It's just, these people are, you know, I'm such fans of these people. They're such amazing actors. It's a joy to work with them.
Frank Oz, I mean, I walked into the said basement last week, and then there's Frank Oz. This cast just keeps expanding and improving, and it's just an incredible group of people.
So to work with someone like Toni Collette, Daniel Craig and Michael Shannon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson, the list honestly goes on, and I think it's created such a wonderful family dynamic within the Thrombey family.
It's funny, Katherine and I rode to work today, and we had more of a conversation than we've been able to have in the whole movie. And, you know, it's fun to see young people at the beginning of their careers. Katherine and I talked about, like, living on a movie. Like, she wanted to know, how do I set up my living where I'm not at my home, but you're creating a home where you are, and we talked about all that. It was fun.
Chemistry is such a huge thing, and I think with this particular film, the chemistry of everyone on set, not just characters but also offset, has been really fundamental, and I think has really brought something extra special to it.
No, Marta! I need to talk to us. You explain everything you know about the down I just said don't.
I just think you should calm down.
Anytime you have to kind of explore and take risks, and you know, the nature of acting is it's risk. You know, you have to kind of be vulnerable in front of a lot of people you don't know terribly well.
Son.
Father. It certainly helps when you start to build a trust and an understanding and a friendship between these people, so that when it comes time to kind of roll the dice a little bit, you feel a little bit more comfortable.
What the shit?
Fran's dead. And you just confessed to her murder.
It's always nice when you get to see actors make choices that don't always seem like the obvious choice, or seem like a bit interesting, because it creates a veil over the character that is just interesting to see. I think people will be quite surprised in a pleasant way.
You had sex with my grandpa, you dirty anchor baby.
Now, Jacob, you don't know that.
The way Rian constructed it, we all get little moments with each other. I mean, clearly Christopher Plummer is the sort of the plum on the tree that we're all really thrilled about.
I absolutely fell for it instantly, which is very rare when you read a film script. Usually it's the yellow version and the pink and the blue. But this was white, and it stayed white. And we shot the movie from that script. Nothing had changed. You can see how very, very precise dear Rian was when he was writing it.
You can just tell how smart Rian is when you read the script. I mean, he has such a handle on the story, and it's jam-packed. There's so much that happens. It's really a game of snakes and ladders, and it's so complicated.
There was so much information going on. When I read it, I had to take my time and read it again and go back again a few pages, and I thought it was so much fun and entertaining.
So I think that's good in terms of starting to work it into the right headspace. I think a little more. He's genuinely worried for, so a little more desperation,
Christopher Plummer is just, he's a legend, and we have probably one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult scenes in the whole movie.
Marta, do you have that extra stuff?
Yes, I'm gonna find it. I have it because it comes with the kids. It should be here. It has to be. It's like a... He's not here, Harlan.
She was so generous in that outburst, generous to me. And it was very easy to... Look, if she'd come on and played her part calmly, I would have come on and screamed and yelled.
We actually spent 3 days in one scene. So it was full of, moments and details and crazy dialogue and a huge weight in it.
Harlan, we have to call the ambulance. We don't have time.
Listen to me! Now, if what you said is true, I'm gone. There's no saving me. We have 6 minutes. We have got to get you out of this. Think of your mom.
My mom.
You've got to have color in a movie. A lot of times they don't understand. They take each other's tone. One actor, she says something, and then he says something, and they've said it in the same color. And so boring. So if somebody comes on strong like Anna.
So I'm gonna use the phone, okay? To call an ambulance. What are you doing? What are you doing?
You know you're going to have to underplay. You have to underplay. And it's right, because he would calm her anyway, because he's so fond of her.
through that scene, the whole movie spreads out. And what I'm about to say isn't gonna be easy and you're gonna be upset. But I thought after what you've gone through the last few days, that you deserved to hear it from me.
Excuse me!
You have not been good to her.
I always find family dynamics really interesting, and this family, doesn't disappoint.
Yeah, he was in the bathroom, joylessly masturbating to pictures of dead deer.
How do you start building kind of the puzzle, and then at the same time, the tricky part is really trying to make everybody's schedule work together within that window that you have, which is a big challenge. But I have a great ED, Jamie Christopher, and I literally every day will make like 5 different schedules. Hey, this actor can do it, but he cannot be here in these days because they have to go there. And she can be here, but she cannot be here. Can we figure out the way how to combine? So you have to kind of, you have to figure it out. So it's kind of a puzzle, but the idea is to get great cast, great actors, because this is part of like, making those murder mysteries in the style of Agatha Christie or whatever.